Alright guys, hope you're all doing well. Just wanted to do kind of a quick general update because we were out for a bit last week on vacation. So I just posted a couple of shorter videos and some shorts and stuff like that. So just kind of wanted to walk through some of what changed and some of the older areas that you haven't seen in a week or two. So here's the areas where the pigs were several weeks ago at this point. Grass is starting to pop up a little bit, but it's slowing down in its growth because it's been a little bit drier. So we've got a bunch of saplings kind of popping up around, and then these stumps where I cut the trees down but not all the way down to the ground. We've got some regrowth in spots like this, which is good. So we're gonna bring the goats over here, and that's gonna be kind of fodder for them. And then we have a section I was working on just a little bit before leaving, where I took the wood chipper and I was starting to chip stuff up and just kind of clean things up in some of the more recent areas where the pigs and the goats were. So that is right over here. So I'm sure you guys probably somewhat remember, but there were still a bunch of like trees and stuff over in this area. So I covered up the wood chipper while we were gone so it wouldn't get rained in. But I cleaned this up a lot. Still a lot of cleaning up to do over here, but it looks pretty good overall. This next section, I grabbed a couple trees from over here, but similar story to that one over there. I still need to get this cleaned up a good bit more. And then while we were gone, we of course had somebody farm sitting. So what we did is I typed everything up on the computer and then just laminated it so they had a list. It was like 2 pages of what to do and where things would be and all of that stuff, and left that with them, which it worked pretty well. We had, I think, 1 chick die, and when we made it back, 1 chicken was dead that wasn't related to anything that they had done. I think it may have been just heat or some sort of disease or whatever, and for the chick sometimes that just happens. So he gave the chick to the pigs and we moved on from there. But this section, which is right next to where the goat shed is, this is where I moved the pigs, and I used 3 sets of this netting to have them all the way down this side. I mean, you can kind of see the demarcation line sort of roughly right here of where they were. And we were on the outside of these T-posts over here and went all the way down past this big tree right here. So a lot of rocks and stuff exposed that I need to come gather up, some trash and stuff laying around that I need to pick up as well. And behind here where the goats haven't been more recently, we've got some regrowth on these trees. So maybe in a few more weeks, I'll let the goats sort of revisit this and continue just to eat it down until those trees don't want to come back. And then around this tree where the pigs were last week, we've got some root exposure that eventually is going to bark over and be good and healthy. So after we got back, I moved the pigs to this section of the woods. There's a ton of saplings over there. Mostly tulip poplar saplings that they're gonna be working their way through. And man, now I gotta cross this fence. I'm carrying a baby. Okay, I'm gonna try to step over it. All right, we did it. I had to run the wire between these posts because I just didn't have enough wire to run it between the trees like I had been. And a branch, I think, fell down and maybe knocked one of the insulators off of a tree back there. So anyway, okay, here, this is where the goats were 2 or 3 weeks ago. We've got a little bit of the grass seed, and the pigs were there like a week before that. A little bit of the grass seed is growing. Not a ton, but also didn't throw a ton over there because I figured it's still pretty dense. It's not really going to grow too much. And then as we come down here, this is where the pigs were, call it like 3 weeks ago, I think. So there's some grass growing along here, and this area they were in goes all the way down to right where this tree is. So 3 weeks ago they were in this area. We've got some grass popping up here, and this is where I used the rest of my seed, so I don't have any seed left to plant there. Actually I need to get more seed. If you guys have any suggestions for a good mix that's like, you know, 3 different types of seed together that might do good in an area like this where there's a decent amount of shade, but we do have speckled sunlight coming through here. Obviously this was like some fescue that I had thrown in. I think there's some rye in there as well, but curious to see what everybody else thinks or what everybody else does, just to see if there's something I could be doing better. So this is what this looks like now. Not too bad. Pretty much did exactly what I wanted it to, what I expected them to do. This dirt isn't like super compacted, so I feel like I could come in and, you know, plant something if I wanted to. I don't know if something like turnips or some sort of what are like the root plants called? I feel like it starts with a T. Like some sort of tuber, yeah. Would do well in here, and maybe just do like a whole patch of it. I don't know. I'm just kind of like throwing ideas out there, sort of stream of consciousness as I'm going here, but that's what that looks like. And so that was where they were before we went on vacation. So this was like 2 weeks ago, and vacation was like a week ago. So everybody's doing pretty good. I will add that the 40 chicks that we had gotten, or roughly 40 chicks, and the goose are all doing well. I don't think any of them died. I think it was smaller chicks. We did have some chicks that the Silky and a Bantam were sitting on hatch. So that's where the new chicks came from. Whew, I'm out of breath after coming up that hill. And probably won't be able to see them today. Maybe I'll post them in another video later. I just don't want to disturb them too much if I don't have to. And oh, the last thing, kind of update wise, is the garden. So the garden, I had filled up the raised bed with compost, and then I planted peppers and tomatoes and onions, and then I threw a couple inches of mulch on top of it. And my goal is for this to have as low maintenance as I can and still get something. So I'm aware that I'm probably not going to get the greatest yield that I could possibly get doing it this way, but this is how I'm going to be able to do it and actually stick with the garden for this year. So raised bed here, jalapeno peppers right there and right there, doing really well. They are bumping. You can see the onions around here too. Just like 3 or 4 of them. There were a couple more onions, but I think that they died. And then over here you can see I've got my tomatoes. The lower leaves, there's like a little bit of yellowing and stuff, but all the newer stuff is doing well. And so I didn't water it, and the people watching the farm, or the homestead, whatever you want to call it, didn't water it the whole time that we were gone. So it's doing well, and we didn't really have much rain, so it's doing pretty well. I stuck my hand in there and I made a short of this, the other day, but I can't remember if I think I posted it today. But I stuck my hand in there and it's still pretty damp, 3 or 4 inches down. So they're obviously getting some moisture still out of there, and that mulch is helping to retain it. And it also probably helps that, you know, the sun's rising up over here. We got some coverage from the trees. We're gonna have a few hours of, you know, semi-direct sunlight, and then it's gonna be behind those trees over there. So that is certainly going to help with that. But just wanted to give kind of a whole update because it's been a little bit since I've recorded anything new. We kind of showed what was going on with the animals. So more videos to come, but that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.